Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for taking some time for us today. We are really excited to be meeting with you to share a little bit more of the MGT story and hopefully get you off to a strong start, making the most of all the opportunities that come your way. So before we get rolling, let's go ahead and get kicked off with a quick round of intros. And Jason, why don't you lead us off?
Thanks, Dan. So my name is Jason. I'm head of business development here at MGT Insurance. And I look forward to these every single week. I talk to agents all week long. Dan and I both do. But here's an opportunity for us to show brand new agents to the platform what it is that makes MGT so great, and then interact with you while we do it. We love being here. I'm super stoked to have you guys here today.
And my name's Dan. I'm the partner activation leader here at MGT. Or to put that, I guess, in a short version, you can kind of think of me as your MGT fixer. If you ever need some extra assistance, have any questions, feedback, especially while you're getting up and running with us, please never hesitate to reach out. So for those of you who are already on, we really appreciate your timeliness. You all are gold star students in my book, so thank you so much for being ready to go. We'll give the other folks who maybe are a couple minutes behind today just another minute or two to get in and get signed up and get settled for the show. But we always like to start this off with a quick question. And just for those of you who are joining us, just curious, who went and saw some fireworks this weekend. So use the chat feature to let us know. It should be right around the bottom middle of your screen.
So I will tell you, for mine, it wasn't great. We had a neighbor who set some stuff off in their driveway. We had some like fountains and various different little like sparklers and stuff like that. But here in Colorado, we were on a massive firework ban because of fire risk. So we didn't get to see much, which is very different than how it was when I lived in Ohio. I used to set off a bunch of big ones every single year. So
Oh
I
yeah,
missed it.
they that's awesome. They actually canceled them here where I'm at in Richmond, Virginia too.
Mm.
We're in the middle of a heat wave over the weekend. It was a feels like temperature of 115. And yeah, it was a tough weekend, but we made it through. And let me tell you, nobody told my neighbors about the fireworks ban because they started popping off around 8 in the evening and didn't stop till after 11.
Wow. That's almost I feel like that's almost what you hope for. Like, don't get me in trouble, but if my neighbor wants to do it, and as long as nothing bad happens,
Right.
then that's the celebration you're looking for. We had some good ones in the chat as well. It looks like some folks out of North Carolina and Florida both got to see fireworks. That's awesome.
That's really cool. And usually when I do go see the fireworks, that grand finale at the end where they start to set off like all the big ones, typically is about 3 to 5 minutes. And if you want to know what's an even better way to spend 3 to 5 minutes of your time, you can quote small commercial accounts with MGT's platform in just 3 to 5 minutes and receive fully bindable terms.
It's
Well,
incredible. Yeah.
thanks. I took a long weekend just to work on that.
For all of you who don't realize, he's got some interesting way to turn this every single time. Never ceases to amaze me, Dan. You're incredible at it.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, let's go ahead and get the party started, and I'll share my screen so we could get everything kicked off. And so we are very excited to share that the era of Neo Insurance has arrived. And I know we've got some folks right now sitting at their computers saying, Dan, we've been on this call. You've been talking for less than 3 minutes. You're already throwing crazy buzzwords at us. What is Neo Insurance? And I would say you can kind of think of that in the context of the wider industry. We all know insurance carriers. A lot of them do great things. They've been protecting people's businesses and livelihoods for decades, sometimes even hundreds of years. They've got the TV commercials that keep us all entertained. But as they've grown, as they've evolved, I don't think it would be controversial to say their number one priority has not always been to make things fast and easy. And a word we actually use a lot here is delightful. You've had over the last several years many insure techs joining the space. These are, kind of lot of different ways they can be organized. You'll have your MGAs, your MGUs, your wholesalers, your comparative platforms, etc. But when you boil it all down and start to really look at the mechanics of what they do, typically they're distributing somebody else's insurance product. And a lot of times they're using somebody else's technology to do that. And they just package it up into a nice, easy experience. But because of that reliance on other companies, it can be hard for them to really stay in touch with the market and make the changes that you need to make your life a little easier. That's where MGT is different. We are the carrier. We stand behind the risks that we underwrite through our platform. We carry the AM Best A minus rating, so very financially secure. And we built all the technology that you'll see today to help facilitate this process of quoting, binding, and managing insurance. And because we built it and because it's our insurance product, we really have a lot of control over that experience. We even have in-house management of our claims team. And so we can really see that through, to the day the policy actually is important and make sure that it's a great experience for everybody all along the way. So a couple quick facts about MGT. As I mentioned, we are rated A minus by AM Best, so very financially strong. We also are writing all of our policies on the ISO forms. Those are the most legally tested forms on the market. And so you can always feel confident, as you're writing with MGT, we'll be there to stand behind the claims, and then the policy should respond, the way that you would expect it to. What I think you'll all really appreciate, though, is that we've built a 100% digital, fully streamlined process where you will never have to look at an Accord form. We'll never come back and ask you to fill out a bunch of supplemental applications, no long 3-week back and forth email chains with underwriting teams trying to get terms and more information. In fact, through our platform, over 85% of our policies go from logging in to start the quote to bound and issued in just a few minutes. All quotes through the platform are fully bindable. It's not just giving you underwriting indications. As long as the information you've entered is accurate and complete, that quote is fully bindable and accurate and complete as well. We also have a wide footprint. We're admitted in over 40 states and Washington, D.C., with plans to continue expanding. So stay tuned. So a couple quick numbers here. One that I always really like to highlight is this 100% uptime for our platform. We really work hard to make sure it's stable and reliable. So when you go to mgtinsurance.com and you need to accomplish something, you're not getting endless loading screens or error pages. You're really getting that streamlined, fully digital process that makes things fast and easy. Now, as far as our new business appetite goes, we are writing over 300 classes of business with a focus on small businesses. We're going to be a great fit for artisan contractors, professional and medical offices, retail stores, barber shops, beauty parlors, nail salons, bakeries, grocery stores, convenience stores, restaurants with up to 50% alcohol sales can all be a great fit with MGT. Again, we are focused on small businesses. For us, that means up to 3 million in revenue for most risks, up to 5 million revenue for professional and medical offices. We're writing risks with up to 100 employees, up to 30,000 square feet as a general rule of thumb. There is a little nuance there from class to class, but that should get you started. We are writing up to 2 million total insured value in property per location with up to 4 locations per policy. And don't hold yourself back either. We definitely love when we get those nice, neat, perfect submissions in. But if it's got a little hair on it, if it's a new venture, risk with no prior insurance, coverage lapses, even claims history, those can all be eligible with MGT. And so I'd encourage you to submit those too, and let us show you how easy it really can be. So I do get caught all the time when I'm talking about our appetite, saying we write just the BOP or we only do BOPs. But the reality is, yes, we do start with that BOP base form, but you've got a lot of different coverages and enhancements that you can add on to it. Couple quick highlights from this page. We do write professional liability. This is really available for barbershops, beauty parlors, and nail salons. We find this to be a very impactful coverage that's often driving those coverage decisions and those purchasing decisions. We've also got higher non-owned auto available for many risks. It's available for a lot of our retail classes, our professional and medical office classes. It's available for artisan contractors. It's available for restaurants that aren't doing any self-delivery. And so a lot of good stuff to dig into here. We've got this workers' comp stopgap coverage. If anyone's joining us from a monopolistic workers' comp state, I had to learn what this is just for you. So I always like to highlight that's available. We've got cyber liability always in the news these days. So a lot of good coverages that you can really build onto the policy and tailor something specific for that business. We've got some optional coverages and sublimits available as well. These are all baked into the policy forms. And so these should be available no matter what kind of business you're working with MGT. What I really like to highlight here is that when you're working through our platform, it's only going to show you bindable options for all these different sublimits and optional coverages. Restaurants, we've been seeing a lot of interest and a lot of success with, so I would definitely encourage you to quote those with us. And you'll find they've got great coverage available as well. They've got access to higher limits for spoilage and contamination. They've got that higher non-owned auto we discussed. They've got some premises security coverages that can be important. And if they are doing any valet operations, they get access to up to $150,000 in sublimits for damage to customers' property. Also, for artisan contractors, they've got some great optional coverages as well. Miscellaneous tools and equipment can be very impactful. That's available up to $100,000 in sublimits to cover all those small tools they may have in the back of the van. And then contractors installation, that covers materials in transit to, at a job site, around the property. So those can sometimes replace different inland marine policies they might have and help you keep everything easy. One premium to keep up with, one policy to keep up with, ultimately just making things a little simpler for everybody.
Before you move on, Dan, one of my favorite things that we do here at MGT is, obviously we work with the independent agent, but we take that feedback, right? We are the carrier ourselves, and we get to adjust all of our products accordingly. And a great story comes along with contractors with that. With actually, Dan helped out significantly with this. Very early on when we launched, HVAC was a little hard for us to write because we were saying, we can't do subcontractors at all. As the carrier ourselves, we want to make sure that we roll stuff out in a way that is safe and reliable, and we learn from our risks and grow over time. So we try to confine that and make sure that we've got good control over what we're writing. So no subs at first, but HVACs we just can't write unless they have a small sub availability for electrical contractors and various other stuff. So Dan got lots of feedback from the field, took that to the team, and we made adjustments so that, the HVAC class can include those sort of things. And that's one of the things that I hope that all of you find that you love about working with us too, is that we are so agent focused that no matter what it is that we roll out, no matter what decisions that we make, the entire goal is to listen to the field and build a product that you and your insureds are really happy with. So sorry to sidetrack you, man. I just love that anecdote.
Hey, that was a great sidetrack. We could go down that road anytime. Actually, just to double down on that, the damage to customers' property limits for restaurants also added due to agent request. And that's really the power of us being a neo insurer where we own the insurance, we own the technology, we can use that control to really deliver to you something a little special, a little different from what else is out there in the market. So let's go ahead and see now how it all works. So before we jump into the platform itself, I always like to start here at mgtinsurance.com. For those of you who are following along on another screen, go ahead and pull that page up and then click on the Appetite tab here in the upper left-hand corner. This is a really interesting little tool that we're building and have built. to help make life easier when you get all these, can you write this? Can you write that kind of questions? So you can scroll down on this page and communicate with Amy, our AI appetite assistant, who's available 24/7, 365 to help out. We can ask all kinds of questions like, can you write a barbecue restaurant in Austin with 2 million sales, 25% alcohol sales, 7,000 square feet, and 15 employees? So a lot of information here. If you were used to just kind of working through like a spreadsheet of eligible class codes, I think that this example should show how much more useful this tool is. Not only do you not have to just start scrolling down an endless list of NAICS numbers, you can also really dig into the risk and some of the characteristics of that risk and get quick, accurate guidance on whether that's something that will be a good opportunity to write with MGT, or if maybe not, but at least it took you 10 or 15 seconds to get to that answer too. And so Amy came back to us, all this looks great. And so it's even giving us some guidance on how to get started with the submission. So let's go ahead and get logged in. And then that will take us into the broker portal. From here, you should see some different options on your screen. You'll have start a quote. You may have build your team where you can add new users to the agency. And then if you do have any appetite questions, we tried to make that easy to access as well. Along the sidebar, you've got options for home, policies, quotes, and user management, all pretty self-explanatory here. So let's go ahead and start a new quote. And this is where I like to do something a little fun and kind of open it up to the crowd. If anybody has a favorite restaurant, barbershop, beauty parlor, nail salon, maybe an accountant or a lawyer who send you leads sometimes, go ahead and shout the name of that business out in the chat. And just using its name, we can start to get a bindable, accurate quote for that business using MGT's technology. Oh man, Nicholas
Nicholas is
jumping
on it.
right in. Let's see. So, as a brewery, that might actually not be the best fit for us. And in fact, this might be a cool opportunity. Can you write a brewery? And so that's almost more to us of like a manufacturing kind of risk. Um, and so breweries would be a little bit out of appetite. But I think, Nicholas, you're right on track. A lot of restaurants kind of along that lines could be something that we could take a shot at. Now, if it's
Sweet.
just we got the additional info in the chat. Can you write it if they don't brew there? I'm in sales, so I'm gonna say yes. Or at least we could take a good shot at it.
Yeah, it just kind of depends on what their operation percentages are.
So let's go ahead and just say State 48 Brewery right here in Surprise, Arizona. And so I love that you can pull up all those businesses this way. Our technology is really good at finding these different businesses. And if it ever is not finding one that you're working on, you can always click enter business info manually to get started that way too.
If you
So
saw,
let's
Nicholas dropped in chat that it's 60/40 food to alcohol. So 60% food, 40% alcohol when you get to that point.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, we could do up to 50% alcohol sales, so that should be right down the fairway.
I might have to approve the referral, so I'll hop in and get ready to do
And so, what's happening now behind the scenes as you're looking at this loading page with the nice little aurora going on behind the mountain is we are actually looking up over 3,900 different data points on this business. We're using that to classify the risk. We're using it to highlight important information to our underwriting team. So if it does refer, they don't have to go searching for a lot of different information. It's all kind of right in front of them. And then we're also going to, as you'll see here through the process, pre-fill a lot of the application questions to help get you started. Now, quick note about that, we are at least 90% confident that the answers that we're populating on the application are correct. We use a lot of different data vendors, but they've got to be at least that 90% confidence level for us to use them. There's a little daylight though between 90 and 100. And so as you go through, I always do recommend just giving everything a good once over to make sure it looks accurate. You don't necessarily have to try and click continue, continue, continue as fast as possible. So we'll go ahead, we'll call this a restaurant. You can see here, just able to search using this drop-down box, find that casual or fine dining restaurant class. Click continue again. First couple questions will always be the same. Have there been any claims? Do they need building coverage? We'll keep those the way they are, and then we'll click continue again. And now you'll see these questions are starting to pre-fill for us using the MGT technology. So let's go ahead. We'll give them 40% alcohol sales. We'll click continue again. And now you'll see it's also finding some more information about when it was established, the entity type, number of employees. All this looks right on for a nice, busy, popular brewery. But let's say we did need to make a change here. Maybe we go there all the time and we know, they've only got 15 employees. We can enter in that information and just click continue and provide that updated information. Now, on the next page, we will enter in some fines. Sometimes I do see this happen a lot for particularly restaurants. I think maybe something about them having like food specials triggers special events coverage in the platform. And so you'll see this sometimes. What I'm going to do here is just enter in 0 for the number of events, and then it won't include that special events coverage on the BOP. But if they do have some special events, then you can fill in this information. We can include coverage for that on the initial BOP quote that you get.
Which is great because I don't know about your experience in the past, Dan, but a lot of the carriers that I've worked for don't actually offer special events. They
Mhm.
try to avoid it, and we just drop it right in here. Happy to write it with
Exactly. And it's a lot of times just much better for the insured too. It's again one policy to keep up with, one premium payment. So it just makes managing their business a little bit easier. Now, in this next page, we're going to be able to add any additional insureds and add some building information as well. And our technology is going to pre-fill a lot of this for us too. It's really kind of magical when you're quoting like a business that does own the building that they're in. It's going to find so many details about that and make one of the most tedious parts of the submission process really, really easy. And then we'll also be able to add any additional insureds in this step. There can be some additional premium for that additional risk. And so I do like to recommend adding it up front when you know that they'll need it. So this takes just a second to load for us. I am in our demo system, which is a little bit slower than the one that you'll be using. It's kind of using like the second string servers. So sometimes these transitions can take a minute. But this is a great opportunity too to shout out the chat feature. We've got a few folks who are really actively using that. But if you have any extra questions, want to dig into anything that you see here, please use that chat feature and let us know.
Dan's doing my job for me. I'm obsolete, y'all.
Never, never. That will never be true.
Put those things in the chat so that I know that I've still got a job here.
So let's go ahead. We'll add an additional insured just by selecting the type of additional insured, keying in their name and address, answering a couple questions. And then once we proceed through the quote, that'll be included on the quote with the premium associated with it. I'm going to go ahead and remove that though, just to keep it easy for us. Answer a couple more questions here. You will see our technology found the square footage, the construction type, can identify whether there is an automatic sprinkler or not. We've got 100,000 in business personal property on this risk. I'm going to go ahead and include some tenants improvements and betterments just for fun here. If we needed to add any other buildings or add any other locations, we can do that as well, all on this one page. Now I'll click continue. And then in the next section, we've got one last question. We'll keep that TRIA coverage on, click continue again, and then it will start to calculate out our quote. So Jason, get ready with that approval button just in case. But I feel like we've got a pretty good shot on this.
Yeah, I just
So,
wondered if it would refer because of the alcohol sales, like because it's well within
uh,
appetite, but we just like to look at those sometimes.
yeah, sometimes the technology can identify too, like risks that maybe do deserve a second look. If it's got that word brewery in the name, sometimes that'll trigger a referral. But looks like we slam dunked this one together. Uh,
Yeah.
got terms back, ready to go. So let's go ahead and get this buttoned up. From here, all we need to do is scroll down. We can set all these different sublimits. We can adjust any deductibles. We can scroll down to the bottom and add some other coverages. Let's say they do have pretty significant sales, nice active brewery operation. We'll go ahead and bump up their liquor liability. We can go ahead and add some higher non-owned auto. And then maybe because of all these updates, we've increased the premium a bit. We want to find some relief. We'll go ahead and increase their deductible as well. And you'll see in the upper right-hand corner, as we make those changes, that affects the premium. And so you can kind of keep track of the impact of each of those changes that we just made. So we'll click update quote. James came in to the chat with a really good question. Do you need to provide receipts for alcohol sales? We will send an inspector out. The policies are auditable, but you don't need a ton of paperwork to do this. That's really the benefit and the highlight of MGT is you try and make things easy and cut that red tape out of the process.
James is trying to help me out, Dan. You're just jumping right in.
So let's go ahead now and take a look at the binding process. To do that, we'll click continue to bind. We've got the effective date here. We'll just confirm that, and then we'll enter in the policyholder's contact information. The next step in the process here is once we click confirm and send to insured, it's going to send a link to the policyholder that they can use to go through the rest of this process and finalize the purchase of the policy. It's typically pretty fast. I've actually already got it in my inbox. That's how immediate it is. And you can keep track of what's happening with that link once it's been sent out on this page. That way, if you do have to follow up with them with a reminder, you kind of know going into that conversation what's happening with it. One tip here, a lot of people overlook this, but we've got the copy share link button here in the upper right-hand corner. If we click this, that will copy that link to your computer, and then you could paste that into an email. You could maybe send it out as a text message, or if somebody needs a little extra assistance in this process, we can go here, paste it in, and then that will take us into that link. So from here, we can select our payment terms. We've got annual, quarterly, or monthly available, and we are a direct bill carrier. So there are no additional financing charges.
Dan. Is the GL portion auditable?
Oh, that's a great Jason question.
It's not a Jason question. It's Peter's question, but Jason needed to get in and be used.
Well, don't let me stop you, Jason.
It is, yeah. So we reserve the right to audit on all of our policies. I will tell you right now, we're not currently doing it, um, but we do maintain that right to audit.
Yeah. And so we will also inspect any restaurants, any convenience stores, or any risks with building coverage as well. So always worth keeping in mind. So let's go ahead. We'll select the quarterly payment options. Now from here, we can click view payment schedule to see exactly when each one is due and what each installment will be. We'll click continue here. And then in the next step, we'll e-sign all the policy documents. I know everybody has been through a process like this where you get everything signed, you have to print it out, you email it over to somebody, they break out the pen, sign it, scan it, upload it, email it back to you. And then you send it over to somebody who says, hey, wait, you missed the initials on page 83. I can't bind this till you get that back to me. Well, with MGT, we kind of take care of all that for you. We'll go ahead and give this the squiggle. Everybody always smiles when they see how fast and easy this is. We'll agree to e-signing, and then you can click Start Signing to go through page by page and review every signature line. I like to keep things easy in these demos though, so I'm going to click sign all and just knock it all out with one click of a button. All those documents then get uploaded into the platform. They get emailed out to the policyholder and to you. Those actually have already hit my inbox as well. So it is really that fast. And then they'll be available in our platform as well. So if you need to go back, say 6 months from now and review them for whatever reason, you don't have to dig through the 8 million emails that you've received in the meantime. Final step here is just to collect payment. Very straightforward. We accept credit, debit, all major card brands, and ACH as well. So we'll go ahead and click into ACH. We'll enter in the name of the account holder and the payment information. Auto pay is automatically turned on. If we don't want to have auto pay enabled, all we have to do is click the toggle here. But I do like to recommend keeping it on when you can. We'll agree to the terms and then click complete transaction. And then we've got the invoice number here, so we know that transaction's gone through. Receipts get emailed out to everybody, so we all have a nice paper trail. And then when we click back into the platform, you'll see these checkboxes update for us. And then we can click into the view policy details button to go to the policy review page. So a lot of service teams really love this page. It just puts so much important policy information right at your fingertips. So somebody's calling you up, or if they walk into your office, they need answers to their questions. You want to deliver that great service. You don't have to go hunting through these, kind of long, like thick files. You don't have to dig through the 85-page policy document. You can come here, you can see the policy period, quick limits information, even payment status. You can see whether auto pay is enabled and whether it's active. You can click view schedule to download receipts and invoices and see when the next payments will be due. You've got the policy timeline here. All the documents are available. And then in the exposures page, you can see what's on the application. So maybe we wanted to see, what their property limits are for building one. You've got that information right here as well. So it just puts a lot of that kind of important information, again, right on the screen, so it's easy to access. And then if we scroll up and look at the quick actions button, you can generate certificates. So if there is somebody waiting on proof of insurance within about 2 minutes of that payment going through, you can have that created and emailed over and waiting in their inbox for them. Once payment is a little bit closer to being due, there will be another option in here to send an automated payment reminder. And a lot of service teams really love that because it's just so easy to get that notice out and kind of help facilitate the payment, but it doesn't take a whole lot of manual data entry to get there. So let's talk now about some of the risks that we can be a great assistance to you with. I've got some examples here on the screen. I'll also highlight from our Appetite grocery stores have been really, really strong. They've been performing really well. Definitely encourage you to submit those. Not so much like the supermarkets, the really big ones, but we do a lot of these kind of community grocery stores. They can be a great fit. If they've got food sales, hot bars, salad bars, things like that, that's acceptable. Uh, Butchers, seafood sections, those are acceptable. We wouldn't really want to see like a full-blown restaurant operation there, but kind of anything short of that, we should be a good fit for.
Yeah, and the main reason for that is not that we're not actually restaurants and grocery stores are a couple of our biggest classes, if not our biggest classes. It's just because we don't have multiple GL codes on our policies at this time. We're
Mhm.
looking at adding those later on, but that's the reason that we can't do that mixed use building.
Mhm.
Dan, we got a question in from James. Are we allowed to add additional, I assume he means insured, on our own to the cert?
Yeah, as long as the certificate's accurately reflecting what's on the policy, we've got the tech that will help get it started for you. It'll have all the right limits, all the right policyholder information there. But if you've got a certificate holder that just really needs to see something super specific, you can go ahead and add that on as well. Sometimes you'll have multiple policies for the same insured and just need to send out one certificate. you can use our tool to get started. Just make sure that that's accurate and matches what's on the policy.
Yeah, and if it's for an AI that is not listed on the policy yet, you can submit that. Dan showed you earlier. We've got an endorsement form on our website. We're building it into the platform itself as well, and we have a full service team. We do our best to make it as easy on you as possible through the use of AI and chatbots, just so that you can get to answer faster. But we've got an entire service team there to support you as well for your endorsement request. So if you need an AI added, you can submit that. We'll get that on, and then it can be a part of your cert.
And then looks like we just had a great question come in through the Q&A too. If the store had a claim in the last year, can you still write them? And classic insurance answer here, it just depends. Uh, the specific circumstances of that claim, what's been done to mitigate future risks of the same kind of claim. Those are going to come into play, but we can write risks with up to two claims in the last 5 years. So I would still encourage you to submit those. So really good questions here. I guess in addition to these, I would just kind of highlight here the seafood restaurant. To me, this is just a great example of how we can help make even some of these kind of larger policies really fast, really easy. They use those optional sublimits and coverages to really tailor something specific for that insured. It had all the important coverages ready for them. And so, I definitely encourage you to think of us for these types of risks. And then last and maybe most important slide out of this whole deck, you've got a whole team here to support you. What I'm able to demonstrate in our time together is the mighty good tech that you get to use to make things easy. But you've got a mighty good team standing behind that technology to assist and continue to deliver on that promise to make things fast and easy for you. You've got all my contact info on the screen. As you have a chance to work with us a little bit more, you'll definitely be hearing from Annalise. She's a great resource, a great advocate for you too. We've got instant message chat support. They are available by phone and by email as well, but I really encourage use of the chat support feature because it actually gives them a lot of extra context, like what page you're on, what quote you're working on, where you're at in that process, so that if you do have questions, they don't have to ask a lot of follow-ups or a lot of additional information before they can start giving you answers.
Yeah.
And then we've got Amy, who we all met at the beginning of this session together, who's available 24/7, 365 to help with those appetite questions.
I was just going to give a nice little anecdote. If y'all saw a blurry person walking around behind me, that's Annalise. She and I sit right across from each other here in the Denver office,
Well, I promise she's a lot less blurry in real life.
usually.
So that is really, really it today. So I'll leave this up on the screen for another few minutes in case anybody needs to copy that down, put it on a post-it note, stick that up on the wall next to you. A lot of folks will take screenshots of this page too, just save that. So if you do have questions, you know exactly who to reach out to. And then last call in the chat if we've got any questions. I know we do kind of breeze through things. So if there's anything you wanted to dig into more, discuss a little bit more in depth, now's your chance. Throw those questions in the chat for us.
It's been a good one today, y'all. Appreciate you coming in and asking all the stuff that you have. It's lots of really great questions.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times people will ask, what does MGT stand for? And this afternoon, I think it stood for Mighty Good Time. I know I've had one. Hope you have too. Thanks so much for taking some time for us today. We really appreciate the chance to connect with you and look forward to working with you.
Have a great day, everybody.